Hello, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. It's the day of love, and I'm super excited because today we're going to be talking about how to deal with grouchy clients, right? It's like the complete opposite of love, but I really believe that you can handle grouchy clients from the place of love. That's what I try to do when I get grouchy emails. And I think we all either get grouchy emails or grouchy comments on our Instagram posts, or in general, just grouchy people around us, right? Maybe you're getting grouchy clients on the phone as well. So today I have asked three beautiful humans from our FemCity Global Program to join me today in this conversation. Our intention collaboratively, collectively, is to help you manage grouchy clients. So I know we all have them. If you're just starting out in business and you don't have a grouchy client yet, that's great. But statistically saying, you will have grouchy clients. There's always grouchy clients. I even tell our new FemCity leaders, there are always two grouchy members. It's just statistically, that's what it is. There's just always two grouchy members in every single FemCity community. So anyway, so let's go ahead and dive in today. We've got Dr. Laura and we've got Emilah and we've got Delia. We're going to get to know them also a little bit. If you are joining us live, we encourage you to join the conversation. You can ask questions, you can add your aha moments, you can share also your tips if you have some ways to go ahead and manage grouchy clients. The more the merrier. If you're watching the replay, I know so many of you watch the replay on the weekends, and we love that too. You can still join the conversation. You can reach out to any of us, though I think most of us don't work on the weekends, so don't reach out to us on the weekends. Reach out to us during the week. If you have any other questions or want to connect with them to learn more about the work that they're doing in this world. So Dr. Laura, you're first. Dr. Laura, what I love most about you is I love following you on Instagram. I have to say you are so clever in the way that you provide messaging and content and great information with the work that you do in this world. I believe that your passion is helping women get into a higher state of wellness in a happy and joyous way. And you're always providing that in a very clever way. Anything that you want to add about yourself?
Oh, well, thank you so much. Yes, for those of you who I don't know yet, I'm Dr. Laura. I'm a functional medicine doctor turned health coach and consultant. I serve busy, driven women to help them understand that by prioritizing your health and well-being, your life and your business can hit massive success in a much more easy aligned way.
Awesome.
Which kind of, I was really excited when I saw the topic for this talk, because if anyone out there is like, yes, I work in the health and wellness field, grouchy clients are a regular thing. And you have to think, for some of us, people who are coming for our help, they're coming from a place of pain and discomfort and hurt, right? So they're already coming into this looking for help, but there could be fear, there could be struggles, there could be other things going on there. In my experience, the number one reason that I've seen people get grouchy and the best way to deal with it is making sure that you, as the coach, as the business owner, are you setting expectations for how this client relationship is going to go?
Mm-hmm.
It's really easy for that relationship to turn sour and for a client to get grouchy if they're not sure what the boundaries are, what the expectations for communication are. So I think for a lot of us, if we're clear on that from the start and we say, hey, here's how it's going to look like working together. You can contact me in these ways. Here's the general timeline for when I'm going to respond by. If there's an emergency, here's what we do. And making sure you're also asking them, like, how does that sound to you? What else would make this relationship look good for you? I know something that I do when I work with clients is I include a short, simple personality assessment in their health intake, because I want to know how they communicate and how they prioritize information. Is this a woman who's going to need a step-by-step blueprint laid out ahead of time to understand where we're going? Is this a woman who really just wants to feel heard and wants to make sure that I'm available whenever she has questions, whenever she's feeling afraid? So setting those expectations and understanding how that client needs to hear your message, because everyone does have different communication styles and ways that they process information. It sounds like a lot of work at the beginning, but if you do that, it's going to set up that client relationship for success in the long run. And if something comes up in the middle of it where they get grouchy, that's a good time to step back and say, hey, I want to just check in and make sure that we're on the same page. What can I be doing to make you feel comfortable? And, sometimes doing the hard work of, if they're just not respecting boundaries, making sure you're staying firm with your boundaries and that they understand that as well.
Love that. So I took some notes. I love that you shared at the beginning, you started saying to acknowledge where they're at, their perspective. If they're coming to you specifically, and I think for all brands, people come to us for certain reasons, but for you specifically, you know that they're coming to you because they're uncomfortable, they're not feeling their best, they know something is wrong, and they're coming from a place of fear, right? Perhaps not knowing what's going on with them. So I love that you're starting from that perspective of like, it's not about me, it's about what they're going through, and let me just give them grace and love because they are in pain. There's something a little wonky with them. I love that. So if we could even take that into like emails or conversations, whenever someone says something that's grouchy, just stop and reflect and say, you know what, where is this coming from? I would say 99% of the time, the grouchiness is not really about us. It's something that's going on in their life. And so I love that you shared that. And then I love that you shared setting expectations preemptively, right? So even before you step into that place of working together, you share with them, by the way, I don't work on Fridays, as an example. So if you message me on Friday, I may not respond until Monday, which is what I probably should be doing. I should probably put an out of office email on Fridays to tell people that it will be Monday when I respond. Setting the guidelines. And then I love that you mentioned sticking to those guidelines. So when someone is grouchy, and it will happen, by the way, and you're fine. By the way, grouchy people are everywhere. It's not just for small business owners or large business owners. Grouchy people are everywhere. So if you have a full-time gig, you got grouchy people there too. So it's all over. Maybe you work for a grouchy person or you work with a grouchy person. So it's not just for business owners. But I love that you are saying, just stay in your place, stay strong, but offer, what can I do to make you feel more comfortable? What can I do to make you feel more love and joy in your life? I love that. So I'm not changing. I'm not going to work on Friday, right? As an example, going to wait till Monday, but what can I do when we are together so that you feel more love? I love, love, love that tip. All right, or those tips. Let's go to Emilah. What I love most about Emilah is she uses intuition and divine guidance to help women move forward. Emilah, I don't know if you want to add anything else to that, but that's what I love most about you. Share, I guess, a little bit more if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks, Violet. Yes, I do. I'm an intuitive life coach. So I do work with women to really put themselves at the center of their lives and understand their intuition and the guidance that's coming through and make decisions from there. And recently, I've been doing a lot of work with women in career shifts around this, as well as relationship, what I'll call is recovery, right? Stepping into themselves after they've left a relationship. So, so this is a topic that I just love. And Dr. Laura, you set me up perfectly for what was up on my mind. Because dealing with grumpy people, dealing with difficult people, when people are coming to me for coaching, and just like when people come to a doctor, they're often in pain, emotional pain. So empathy is a really important piece, like being able to empathize, but also being able to be honest, right? And just really communicate honestly about what, like you said, what the boundaries are and what you're able to do and what you're willing to do in terms of your work with them. Some very specific tips that I learned a long time ago that have been really helpful. My first career was in student services in higher education, and I was a residence hall director. And as you can imagine, there are a lot of grumpy 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds. They don't like living by the rules that are in a residence hall. But a sense of neutrality always helped, right? And it still helps today. So not taking it personally, but holding your own neutrality, being open to possible ways of resolving the situation or resolving and connecting with them around the pain or discomfort they're having or rebellion. I think the other piece that I learned early on was a quality of repetition, kindness and repetition. So being able to just say over and over again, I hear, and this is what I'm asking for, right? So I was trying to cancel a subscription the other day to Sirius XM, right? And they tried to sell me every single thing. You know, when you try to get out of a subscription you've been on, they try to sell you all kinds of things. I just kept repeating the same thing. Please just cancel the service. Thank you. Cancel the service. Thank you. Like raging, being angry, blaming, shaming doesn't work. But consistent, steady repetition, like a broken record, often works. Because they can see, like, I'm listening to you, and this is what I'm asking from you, right? And then holding your own boundaries. So I'll give one last example. I've been in conversations with somebody for the last week and a half about coaching together. And I just got clearer and clearer over the conversation that what they wanted, which was a short 2-month package, meeting weekly to address a particular issue, that's just not how I coach. I work with people long-term over time to make deep shifts in their being and their work and their relationships. And so just being honest with them, like, this just really isn't a good fit. It's not personal, but that's not how I work. And being able to have that conversation, they were getting quite grumpy with me because they couldn't quite fit into my model. And I was like, yeah, because my model isn't what you're looking for, right? So being honest and being humble when there's not a good match, and being able to speak about that directly. Maybe this would serve you better. Give them options. Maybe this would be a better match for you. And allowing and trusting that process of finding the right match for any business or work that we're doing. So those are my multiple tips for dealing with grumpy people.
Love it. And we already have some love that came through from Erin. Boundaries are everything. And she also added, need to be a heck yes on both the provider and the client side, which is great, which is huge, because there are a lot of small business owners that at the beginning, they don't want to do that. You know, it's money coming in and they're like, I really need to make this work. And so I love that you shared, sometimes it's just not a good fit. And it's better to acknowledge that at the beginning with love and compassion, to say it's just not a good fit, and making that space available for somebody else that's a better fit for you, and somebody else that's going to be a better fit for them as well. So it's a win-win situation. So just to kind of highlight what you shared, leading with empathy. I love that, leading from that place and the sense of neutrality, to keep your mind open, because sometimes there is a lesson there for us as well to be better humans. So maybe just even listening to hear what that person's going through may make it so that we can go ahead and change things. As an example, this weekend we had one of our leaders had a hard time finding our portal. And I was like, you know what? That is frustrating. I'm going to add it now to the footer. And so now we added it to the footer. So now it's always there. It's one button away. You don't have to go to 3 buttons. So open yourself up for the possibility of becoming better. And the quality of repetition, kindness. And by the way, that is why, so I tried to cancel from another, I'm not going to mention the name, but I tried canceling the same thing, Emilah. It was like I couldn't cancel. I kept asking. Then they logged. Then I couldn't get into my account. Then I mean, it was like there was no human. I mean, it was like 2 months, and they kept charging. And I realize now why people are grouchy when they cancel FemCity, their membership, because they think it's going to be like that. They think it's going to be like 5 or 6 times, and literally you can just go to your dashboard and hit cancel. So it's like, but now I get it. I had to go through that with this one company to realize, like, oh my gosh, that's why people are so grouchy when they come to us to cancel, because they think it's going to be 8, 9, 10 times saying, I would just cancel me, please. So sometimes that also is helpful to go through it yourself, so you can say, you know what, now I get it. I know now why. And that's why I highlight it all the time too. Like, you can cancel anytime. You don't have to, email a whole bunch of people. Just boop, just do it.
Just make it easy, right?
Yeah, just make it easy.
Simple and easy.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so more love came through. So true violet neutrality is the key to flow. Oh, that was Emilah's tip. Thank you so much. And then, so important to not taking it personally, as you don't know what the other individual is going through. I think that is also so far what we're sharing, is that we don't know what the other person is going through. And I would say like 99% of the time, I have found at the end of everything, it was really about what was going on at that moment with me or with us. it sometimes is just a series of unfortunate events, and you are the first person that came across in their world. So let's go to Delia. So Delia, it's her first time joining us here as a panelist. Super excited. What I love most about Delia is her absolute amazing energy. She just taught a great class for FemCity girls. It goes live this week, so check that out and share it with your pre-teen, your teenage FemCity girls. It's free. Head over to femcitygirls.com later on this week. It's not up yet. Delia, anything you want to share about yourself?
Hi, Violet. Thank you so much. I'm probably a bit nervous coming here for the first time, but very excited to be sharing from my wisdom. You might see that I'm a wisdom coach. I coach children and kids and teens. I call it this way. Some people consider that, teens are not children. They are, but just for the ages that I coach, and I teach them the mindset skills for happiness, confidence, and success. It is an amazing and a blessing to be able to help these kids to go through their journey of growing up and having a wonderful life.
Thank you.
I do have a number of tips, or one tip in a few ways. I'm going to start. Mostly my tips would be what you do when somebody is actually, because I've been in a situation when you are contacted by a client who's not happy with how the coaching is going with their children, for example, or other events that you've had, and how do you actually respond. So it's very important not to react but to respond, and I've been there, and I know it's difficult because when we get a note from somebody who was unhappy about what they got from the relationship with you, unless you've done some work on yourself, you're gonna want to become reactive. You're gonna be like, "What? It was so good, and I did everything, and I worked so hard, but you didn't do your part of the deal." And so don't come from that perspective. And even work on yourself. If you feel that you continue to have that kind of reaction when somebody is complaining about the services or the relationship with you, work on yourself so that your energy is going to be stable and nice, because it's going to be felt. Even if you're going to be feeling and talking very respectfully and not to raise your voice or anything, your energy is going to be felt out there, and that person is going to be like, "Oh wow, remind me not to ever recommend you to anybody or work with you any longer." So that's just very, very important. And I think it's really important to be an owner, to take responsibility when something like that happens, because a lot of times we are related to what the other speakers mentioned, we are we're making it about ourselves, but not in a way in which we take responsibility. We own it, because there's always something that we can learn from that as well. As much as we think that, oh, I did the best I could, this other person didn't understand or worked with me the way they were supposed to, that's actually some ownership that you can take as well. And the more you do that, the more you're going to grow your confidence in the future. And I'm going to give like a little example that I personally had with a group at the beginning of when I started coaching, and I was less experienced, and I had a group of moms and girls, and we had a wonderful, I thought, workshop ready. We had 25 moms and girls joining, and out of everybody, one person at the end. I was just so happy at the end, and like, oh, everything went amazing. And then I get an email, and my heart just sank when one of the moms said that she didn't get absolutely anything from it, that I didn't deliver to the promises. And I almost felt I was gonna, react. But then I stopped and I thought about, wait a minute, out of this, 25 people, just one person complained. That's normal. That happens. It doesn't have to be about me. Going back to who knows what was happening for that person at that time. And I tried to, get myself calm, and I responded, obviously, showering them with love, right? It's Valentine's Day. and just being able to move through it in a way that's that helped me more than anything else. Because there's a lot about you that if you just move yourself and get yourself back into the positive vibe and energy that you need for the other clients that you need to serve, that's what you should be doing.
I love that. And so more love came through. Let me go ahead and bring it in. Erin Tar, which she's amazing too. Agreement number 2, don't take anything personal.
Absolutely.
Stable energy, love that. And ownership and learning. So love that, Erin. She would be snapping if she were here. That's her thing, which always makes me smile. Just to go ahead and, Erin just highlighted. I was going to highlight it, but literally Erin just wrote exactly what my notes were. So Erin, thanks for doing my work. I would like to add with what I think everyone has been sharing is that part of love. It's either empathy or compassion or love. I find that when I get grouchy emails, if I respond with a high dose of love that's authentic, where I take a break and I send them, I think about them and I send them good energy and I send them love and I think about, I don't know what they're going through, and I respond from a place of love, it generally diffuses the feeling and the vibe. And so it's so important. You just said it, Delia. It's really important for you to when that happens, because you gave it everything you've got. You've given this client everything. You've tried your very hardest. And you get that kind of, it's like a stab in your heart, right? It's like, oh my gosh, that hurts so much. They gave so much. Put it in perspective, thinking about, 1 out of 25, it's still good. It's still good. Mm-hmm. Let me go ahead and not react, but respond from a place of love. And it generally does get better. So excellent tips. All right, we're already running out of time. I'm loving that we address this with such a love perspective, especially since it's Valentine's Day. Dr. Laura, what is your final tip and ways that femmes can find you to learn more about the work you're doing in this world?
Yes. Final tip, come at a grouchy client from a place of empathy and understanding, but also prioritize setting expectations and sticking to your boundaries in that process. You can find me on Instagram at my name, at Dr. Laura DeCesaris, especially if you're really interested in the brain chemistry behind some of these interactions we're talking about. I just did a whole series about it. Send me a DM. Happy to chat through it with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. And Emilah, your final tip and also ways that femmes can find you to learn more about the work you're doing in this world.
Sure. My final tip is ground yourself first, intuition first, listen to your guidance, be centered in yourself, and then connect with the client. So you can find me on my website, emilah.com. And that's, if you join my mailing list, you can get 1 of 2 freebies there on using intuition. And honestly, my mailing list has the most juicy content. I send an email every Friday. It's really good, engaging content about how to use your intuition and how I use my intuition, because I'm a storyteller. And of course, you can find me on all the socials, Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, Emilah Dawn DeToro. They're all the same. But really, it's the mailing list that you get the good stuff in.
And so you got Emilah.com. That is so cool.
I did. Emilah.com.
Every time you say that, I forget. I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I had gotten Violette.com. That's so cool. Makes it so much easier.
There's not that many Emilahs in the world, so it wasn't as hard a decade ago to find it.
Yeah, that's great. Very good foresight on your part. All right, Delia, what is your final tip and ways that femmes can find you to learn more about the work you're doing in this world?
My final tip is learn from this experience. So if you had a grouchy client, if you had to respond to them, learn from it, see where you could improve, see where you could become more proactive. Like in my case, thinking back, there was a pretty big group of 25, right? 50 at a time. I don't do workshops like that anymore. I have 6 moms and daughters at a time because this just allows me to be present with everybody. So learn from it. Change what you can change and let it go. And if you would like to connect with me on Instagram, that's the best place, Delia Rusu Wisdom Coach. I welcome you there. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we have one More love that came through. Great conversation. Thanks, ladies. And Parm Bloom, am I a member? I will, why don't you email us, or if you log into the FemCity website, you can just check your dashboard. You can always log in, check your dashboard. It'll tell you like when your next charge is coming through, when you're about to expire. You can download your invoices, and you can cancel. So going back to Emilah, you can cancel from there too. So no pressure sales over here at FemCity. Anyway, thank you so much, ladies, for everything that you do, showing up with love. And I'm wishing you all a great Valentine's Day. And for those that have never heard about FemCity, head over to femcity.com. We have a free 30-day trial membership ready for you, where you can cancel at any time and not go through all the stress that we just talked about earlier today. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll be back next week. Bye.
Bye, everybody.